I'm here with John Clarke. He's the president for Clarke Energy Consulting. How are you today, John?
I'm very well, Tracy, and you?
I am great. John, the reason we have you here today is I want to understand more about oil and gas boom and fracking. I understand this is a revolutionary technology that's really going to change the oil and gas industry. Can you give some of us who are kind of laymen in this industry an overview?
Certainly. The fracking boom is based on a resource play. So once you've discovered the resource, all you have to do is keep drilling to produce from it. Unlike exploration, where it's a sort of binary result, you either have a success or you don't. This is a cookie cutter process, and it has totally transformed the North American market in both oil and gas.
Okay, for the first time, I think I actually understand this. So this is really good for investors that are investing in more high-risk oil and gas exploration plays, yes?
That's correct. Normal exploration is a 1 in 10 chance, maybe a 1 in 6 chance. And it's very expensive as exploration goes around the world. Deep wells, offshore wells, high pressure wells, various domains around the world that have political risk attached to them and everything else. Why fracking and exploitation of the resource base in North America is so important is that it reduces that risk considerably. And once the field or the technology has been proven to be able to get oil and gas out of the ground in these shale plays and tight sand plays, then the exploration risk is gone. So you're really dealing with how profitably can you produce this oil, this gas, and how much of it is available. And in North America, over the last 10 years, you've seen production of oil from Texas, from Dakota, and from various shale plays increase to the region of 1 million, 2 million barrels a day. This obviously helps America greatly as it decreases their import requirements and puts the money going into the ground back into the continental U.S.
Well, John, we follow sustainability issues and the latest technologies on InvestorIntel all the time, and I noticed that you also have been talking a lot about the shale industry and the impact of liquefied natural gas technologies. Can you talk a little bit more about this for me?
Certainly, and specifically as it impacts Canada, we have been able to prove up trillions and trillions of cubic feet of gas, which would last us for years and years if we were only producing it for ourselves or exporting some to the United States. Now we have the opportunity of liquefying that natural gas and exporting it around the world, predominantly for the Asian market, which is the biggest buyer of liquefied natural gas. Currently, there are 3 or 4 projects slated for the West Coast in Kitimat and Prince Rupert, which, should they get going, will each of them take a BCF of gas, which is a lot of gas. The 4 liquefied natural gas projects could take up to 4 billion cubic feet a day of gas production and ship it to export markets. This is a huge amount of gas, and it will require a huge amount of drilling to bring it to market. So you have to drill it, Alberta, BC, you have to pipe it to the coast, you have to liquefy it in special projects, and then you have to put it on an LNG tanker and ship it across to Korea, Japan, China, wherever.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but this sounds like an explosive market growth area for investors to be reviewing for their portfolios.
This is correct, but they're fairly long-term projects. From the official get-go and the government signature and securing the buyers from Far East and demonstrating that you have the product to supply them for 15 to 20 years takes time. Once those hurdles have been completely dealt with, then you have another 4 or 5 years are building the stuff to get it moving. So whilst major companies, and these are major projects, something in the region of 20 to 30 billion dollars a piece, once you get that going, unfortunately, the gas that you're drilling up has nowhere to be sold until they're completed. And so there will be a drilling boom, proving up gas for each of these projects. And, 1 billion cubic feet a day means you have to drill 600 wells to secure that production per year. By the way, that's not total wells, that's per year.
John, thank you for joining us today.